The Belt and Road Initiative is a Chinese government-led initiative aimed at enhancing global trade connectivity through the development of infrastructure projects, including roads, railways, ports and energy facilities across various countries and regions. The aim is to enhance regional economic development, energy production and connectivity. TPP Kostolac is indeed a coal-fired thermal power plant complex operated by Elektroprivreda Serbia, a Serbian state-owned power company. It has received investment and infrastructure development support from Chinese companies as part of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. This is the opening case brought to the Soil Court for the ongoing BRI legal proceedings. All rise. The TPP Kostolac is now in session. The Honourable Judge McKinley presiding.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You may be seated. We have convened today for the case of TPP Kostolac. I'd like to invite the attorneys to introduce themselves to the court.
Good morning, Your Honour. I am from Kostolac, Serbia, representing the state residents in Kostolac.
Good morning, Your Honor. I am from Beijing, China, representing the defendant, China Machinery Engineering Corporation.
Prosecution. You may now proceed with your opening statement.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today we seek justice for the residents of Drumno and Kostolac. Since 2010, the actions of the defendant, China Machinery Engineering Corporation, CMEC, have significantly impacted the lives of these communities and their environment. We will present compelling eyewitness testimonies, exhibits from the scene and photographs from Kostolac. These pieces of evidence will demonstrate CMEC's culpability beyond a reasonable doubt. Thank you.
Defense, you may now proceed with your opening statement.
Your Honor, esteemed members of the jury, we appreciate your attention. Over the coming days, you will hear a narrative that paints a different picture, according to what the prosecution has presented. The construction of the power plant has brought positive economic development to the local area, with significant improvements to infrastructure, job creation, and advancements in coal mining and power generation. Environmental protection and desulfurization technology were integral parts of the project. We will present eyewitness testimonies, documented evidence, and official statistics that challenge the prosecution's claims. We assert that CMEC, under the Belt and Road Initiative, is innocent. We ask you to maintain an open mind and consider all the evidence before making your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. We will now proceed with the presentation of evidence. The prosecution may call its first witness. Will the witness please step forward and take the stand?
Soil from Drumno village. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you are about to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear.
Please state your full name for the record.
I am known as Soil from Kostolac and Romo village.
Thank you, Soil Witness. Could you please provide the court with a description of what you have observed during the period in question?
I've lived in this area for a long time and seen it all. In 2010, the Kostolac coal power plant got big upgrade. They built roads, railways, and ports real fast, which did bring some good things for our community. We got better access to education, healthcare, and services, and about 3,000 people found jobs here, making Kostolac one of the best-paying cities in Serbia. But there's a dark side to progress. Toxic stuff from coal mining and processing gets into the air and even our rainwater. Look at Exhibit 01. It shows how it's affecting my health. And then there's this rusty dust from the power plant that covers everything, from plants to houses. It gets into our bodies when we breathe. The ground near our village is always dusty and is making people sick. Some kids even got leukemia and were buried right here. I'm really sad about what I've seen. People living above me don't have a choice. They're stuck with these invisible problems just to get by. I hope sharing this can help others see what they're going through.
Were there any specific interactions or conversations that you heard or witnessed?
We're surrounded by this non-stop heavy mining and all these polluting places like ash dumps, conveyor belts, and wastewater plants. And I can often hear the people who live here talking quietly about the strange things they've noticed happening in their own bodies.
I object on the basis of hearsay. The witness is repeating an out-of-court statement.
Objection overruled. You may proceed, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honour. Now, I'd like to draw your attention to Exhibit 02. Can you confirm if you recognise this item?
Yes, I can. This is the packaging for the medication that many residents in our area rely on.
Could you also share more about the environmental and climate conditions in the region?
In 2014, I distinctly remember a massive flood that wreaked havoc. Mines were submerged, power stations faced grave threats, and we endured a crippling power shortage.
Do you believe there might be a connection between the 2014 floods and the proximity of the local mines and power stations?
Objection, Your Honor! The question is leading the witness and should be rephrased.
The objection is sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Allow me to rephrase. To the best of your knowledge and the information you and your companions possess, was the power plant built in a flood-prone area?
To the best of my knowledge from my distant relatives, lignite is dense and prone to catch fire when stored, so it's burned near where it is mined. The Kostolac power plant, as far as I know, is in a coal-rich area near the Danube, but it's prone to flooding.
Thank you. Are you able to confirm the accuracy of the 03 exhibit?
Yes, I can confirm its accuracy. This residue you see is from the bottled water consumed daily by the local residents, marked with my label.
Have you observed a consistent practice among the residents, particularly the Chinese workers, of consuming bottled water as their daily source of hydration?
Yes, I often sense a substantial number of discarded water bottles resting upon the surface above me.
So, does this evidence indicate that the local water resources are also significantly contaminated?
Objection, Your Honor! I must point out that the witness is being asked to speculate on matters beyond their knowledge. It is a common practice in many regions and countries to consume bottled water. So, this description should not be considered as a direct evidence.
The objection is upheld.
I shall now rephrase the question. I'd like to introduce Exhibit 04 into evidence, which includes an analysis of the river's condition near the power plant. This analysis clearly shows that waste heat emissions from the thermal power plant significantly contribute to the thermal pollution of the river. Now that concludes my questioning and presentation. I would like to express my gratitude to the witnesses for their testimony.
Have you observed the development of new transportation network infrastructure constructed by Chinese companies in this area over the years?
Yes, my companions and I saw the Chinese-built infrastructure, including a Danube landing dock and railway facilities.
I present Exhibit 05, containing 2 financing reports from the Export-Import Bank of China. These reports detail the financial agreements between China Exim Bank and the Serbian government. In 2014, a $608 million loan funded a new unit and Drimno mine expansion, increasing annual production from 9 to 12 million tons. This Chinese support enhanced Serbia's mining sector. Do you agree?
Yes, I concur with your statement. I have, indeed, witnessed developments in the Kostolac area. However, I must clarify that I did not personally witness specific reports or contract signings.
Regarding the environmental pollution issue raised by opposing counsel, let's introduce Exhibit 06, the desulfurization system construction plan. The Chinese side is actively bringing advanced technology to Serbia to improve aging power plant and reduce pollution. Now, my question is, what evidence does opposing counsel have to link pollution in Kostolac to my client?
I'll thank you for your question. I'd like to introduce Exhibit 06, which demonstrates that the Chinese side's promotion of its own FGD units has resulted in labour shortages due to CMEC not hiring local workers at standard rates. Despite the Chinese side's claims of introducing advanced technology to the power plant, why was there a delay in implementing these changes?
Opposing counsel, please remain calm. The Drimno mine expansion and Kostolac B3 project were funded with loans from the Public Bank of China. It's important to note that these decisions were made by the Serbian government. In sight of this, should the Serbian government bear the primary responsibility for the results?
Without this Chinese policy and its grand narrative luring...
Silence. Counsel, remember our professional standards in presenting your case. Counsel for the defense, please proceed with your presentation.
To give some background, I introduce Exhibit 07, which highlights Serbia's history of coal power plants dating back to the 1950s and 1960s. Serbia has traditionally relied on coal for industrial energy. So, is it fair to attribute local health problems solely to Chinese companies? The witness, who has lived in Kostolac all their life, may have insights into pollution and resource exploitation resulting from the region's industrial development since the last century.
Yes, I have witnessed the gradual degradation of the environment due to industrial development since the last century.
Are you aware, possibly through conversations with your peers, of numerous regions globally that are experiencing similar transformations, rejuvenating their areas or nations by prioritizing energy and industrial growth to meet local needs and enhance their exports?
My fellow witnesses and I have observed these changes, and we're well aware of these trends. However, we don't endorse the practice of prioritizing economic growth at the expense of our environment.
Thank you for your response. Regarding the mention of the 2014 mega floods by opposing counsel, I introduce Exhibit 08 as evidence. This exhibit includes meteorological and terrain analysis of the region, indicating that the 2014 Southeast Europe floods were primarily a result of meteorological and hydrological factors.
I did not anticipate such indifference and heartlessness from the opposing lawyers. The 2014 floods were unparalleled in centuries. the environmental assessment for TPP Kostolac B3 was insufficient and overlooked the power plant's susceptibility to such devastating flooding, resulting in profound social and economic repercussions.
Objection overruled. Please continue, Defense Attorney.
I'd like to clarify that China primarily offered loans and technical support for Kostolac's infrastructure development and expansion. The Serbian government made decisions regarding the power plant's location and environmental assessment, not China. Furthermore, the power plant's expansion has increased local job opportunities. Have you observed more residents gaining employment there due to this expansion?
Yes, I have witnessed many local residents enhancing their livelihoods by securing employment at the power plants.
Objection, Your Honor. While 3,500 jobs are tied to the Kostolac complex, it's crucial to note that some locals have voiced concerns about pollution. Exhibit 09 is a letter from Serbian citizens expressing their dissatisfaction and valid concerns.
Objection sustained. Please continue, Defense Attorney.
I now request the introduction of Exhibit 10, illustrating Kostolac's status as one of the Serbia's municipalities with the highest average wage. It's crucial to underscore that China serves as an investor and developer in Kostolac, Serbia, contributing positively to the region. Thank you to the witnesses, opposing counsel, and the jury for your attention. And I conclude my questions.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have now reached the closing arguments phase of this trial.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you compelling evidence that reveals the profound impact of the infrastructure investments made by Chinese companies in Kostolac. This impact touches upon the local environment, the health of the population, and even the exacerbation of the 2014 floods. Our soil witnesses have borne witness to the suffering endured by the people and the environment in this region. Their vulnerability has remained hidden beneath a grand narrative, but today we have the opportunity to unveil the truth. What these individuals and the environment have endured is not a matter of chance. It is a plight experienced by many communities worldwide. I believe that some of you can empathize with that feeling of powerlessness. I urge you to approach this case with empathy. Carefully consider the evidence and hold China Machinery Engineering Corporation, CMEC, accountable for their actions. By doing so, you can help restore justice in the lives of the victims who have long awaited recognition and compensation. Thank
you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the Belt and Road policy is based on the principle of mutual benefit and win-win cooperation. It provides financial and technical support to many countries and regions, allowing them to tap into opportunities arising from China's high-quality development. The reports on the FGD plan, financing, and evidence of job creation I've presented clearly show China's commitment, with the approval of the Serbian government, to support economic development in the region and promote business and trade connections with the neighboring countries. Furthermore, China is actively implementing environmental policies to control pollution and reduce its impact on the local environment. My clients, representing the Belt and Road Policy and CMEC Corporation, are innocent parties in this case. I have confidence that we will approach this case firmly, protect the defendant's right, and uphold the core promise of our legal system: justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you for your closing statements. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, Once you begin deliberations, your task is to thoroughly review the evidence, consider the arguments, and reach a unanimous verdict based on the facts and the law. It is now over to you to consider whether the BRI is acting lawfully. We await your decision.